Well, hello there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Talk about totally throwing me off my game. I don't think I've ever had an artist pop in here 15 minutes early.
Well, you know what? You're like the first time I'm doing this, so I was like, I better not be late and mess it up.
And me, I'm a creature of habit, so I have routines and everything, so I normally pop in 15 minutes. But then I saw you pop in, I'm like, oh my God! And I'm scrambling. It's so funny. Giancarlo had mentioned really quickly that you were nervous about doing the chat. I'm like, you want to talk about making me nervous? Throw off my entire routine.
Even the playing field a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. Thanks a lot. Well, it's great to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for having me on.
Now, first of all, do you want me calling you X.O.ANNE through the entire chat or just Anne?
Yes. No, you can call me Anne. That's fine. Or XO if you want to be super cool about it.
Okay. When you put it like that, XO, welcome to America's Dance 30 for the first time.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Congratulations on Free with TELYKast going #1. That is so amazing.
I know. I can't believe it, actually. I mean, I can, but I can't,
We were talking about both of us being nervous during chats. There is nothing to be nervous about because we are celebrating your #1. I will tell you this, the 10, 15 minutes normally leading up to chats when I'm just sitting in the room, setting everything up, waiting for the artist, oh my God, my anxiety is at 1,000%.
Really? That can't be true.
Oh, it is horrible. Yeah, so I'm an ambivert. So I'm really introverted until I have to be on stage or whatever. Then I'm extroverted. So the lead up, the waiting is oh, come on, let's just do this already.
Yeah. Well, that means you're passionate if you're pushing through that every single time. So that's good.
That's actually my middle name is Passion. Now, is this your first #1 ever?
Yes, it is actually. Yes. My first one. Hopefully not the last.
Oh, I'm sure it's not going to be the last. Well, congratulations. I talked to Kyle and Trevor, the guys at TELYKast, when the song first came out, but I'm really interested to find out how the song was born on your end. But before all that, let's get to know X.O.ANNE a little better with Finky's firsts.
Okay.
So I love finding out the origin story of artists. When you were growing up, was music the first thing you wanted to get into, or was there something else you wanted to be?
I think it was the very first thing. I had visions of being a rock star. But then for a while, it's oh no, I'm going to be a lawyer.
Oh my God, we have something in common. I wanted to be a lawyer too because I love arguing.
Exactly. I like being right.
Exactly. But then I saw everything that goes into being a lawyer and I'm like, nah, I'm out.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I guess I got the taste of, I don't know, validation. I don't know what. I finally did some theater and I just I was first on the stage in the theater and I really loved that. And I guess everything else just dissipated. All dreams of being a lawyer were gone.
So when did you actually get into music?
It actually took, I kind of got into it later than a lot of people in this industry. It was after college and because I studied musical theater. I was a theater geek and then I kind of just didn't enjoy not having any control over what I was working on. And then I kind of found songwriting through some breakups and it just all of a sudden felt right, even though, at that point, a lot of people start this industry when they're 12 years old. So it already felt like I was late, but yeah, it just sort of felt right from there. I don't know if you ever had that feeling. It's oh, this is what I'm meant for,
I mean, I've been in radio 31 years, so I definitely had that feeling when I first got into it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, besides your latest #1 with TELYKast, I saw when I was deep diving that you also helped write with Dylan Francis and Bo Anderson, which what an amazing song, Reaching Out. I personally I think that should have went number one.
We did too. No. No, yeah, that was an amazing experience, and Bo's amazing. And yeah, we wrote that like one of my first sessions actually in London. Yeah, and it just kind of came together quickly, as so many songs do when they actually work. So
such a great song. And then I saw that you also just wrote the theme for Gwenpool in Fortnite. And sang that too, which is incredible. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It kind of it's a totally different side of me than the free, although equally appropriate in a way. It's very quirky and spoken word and silly. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with that because I didn't know much about Gwenpool or like the Marvel universe at all before that. And there's such a depth of information about every single character and so much to pull from. So that was really a fun project. Yeah. That's
so incredible. Now, do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
I think it was like Out of a Heartbreak. Like, again, I was a little older, and I had gotten married way too young in Las Vegas. I've lived like a whole life. But, and I was going through that breakup, and I think I wrote a crappy little song on my little patio in Los Angeles about like being sad. I don't know. And, yeah. And from that, everything changed, but I do not remember the song, no.
Did you do the Elvis marriage in Vegas or?
No, we didn't quite go that far, but almost. Yeah, it was still fun.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that it led to what it has for you.
Yeah, it was a good experience overall, and yeah, it definitely opened up a whole new side of my creative life, and yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Just more proof that everything happens for a reason.
Oh, totally. Yes. Definitely, this journey in music has been like an act of faith, and I guess just surrender to kind of what's meant to be, and it's exhilarating. I'll put it that way.
That's so incredible. Now, I love the artist name X.O.ANNE. I mean, how can you not when hugs and kisses are in the name? But when you were trying to decide on an artist project name, was X.O.ANNE the first name you were going to go with, or were there other names you were considering?
Well, Anne's my middle name, and I had used Anne for a while. Anne Teo is my last name. And I guess, well, I used to say, I like to use Anne because she's way nicer than Rebecca. I was like, you don't want to meet her. No, but I do like to think of, for now, not so much. But when I was first writing, I would like to kind of think of, like, I don't know, my best self or like my most sensitive or enlightened self, but still myself, kind of like a more private self, like writing. And then X.O.ANNE, yeah, I don't know, I guess it came together through some kind of like cyber obsession of the internet. And yeah, like kind of like I'm signing off every song like X.O.ANNE, like did this for you guys, like lots of love. Bye. Like
I love that. That is so awesome.
Yeah, I got a lot of thought went into it. What I didn't think about is how hard it is to communicate it when I'm trying to tell someone to follow me. I'm like, it's X.O. and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know. Honestly, like, don't follow me.
I'll edit that part out because you don't want to say that. But then I saw on X that it's X_O_Anne.
Yeah, that's more a product of, I think, just, I don't know, disorganization.
Now, are you a hugger? I mean, you have to be with that in your name, right?
Yeah, I guess I am. I mean, hopefully one appropriate. Yeah.
It just throws me back to high school when everybody would sign XO when they're on on your yearbook and stuff. Yeah. I love it. Now, do you remember your first time performing on stage?
Oh, God. I think it was in HMS Pinafore. I actually can't believe I'm saying that to you, but yeah, I think so. Gilbert and Sullivan musical.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so pretty far from the TELYKast vibe, but yeah, that's where I first performed, I think. I mean, I played piano for a long time. Like, that was my first instrument. So I was always playing that, like, as a child in various places.
And then what about as an artist? What was your first time performing?
Oh, I guess just around New York, like, because I lived in New York for a while and played, the Bowery Electric and other spots in Brooklyn and just doing my thing, like all over Lower East Side and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know the exact location, but yeah, just kind of the circuit around New York.
Now, of course, you've got songs that you've written all over the radio, including your number one. But do you remember the first time hearing one of your songs on the radio?
It's funny because, like, I've just gone back to the States and, like, so I haven't actually heard this, like, organically yet on the radio. So no, I've heard, yeah, I don't really, I kind of feel like I hear stuff like online played back to me, like when someone's taped it or whatever, but I don't know if I've really like heard it sitting there in the car yet.
Well, we need to change that quick.
Yeah, I mean, well, first you had to get me a car. But
okay, I am writing it down right now. Now, total side question, but as an artist, but also as a songwriter who writes a lot of songs for other people, is it weird hearing songs when it's not you performing it, but you wrote it?
No, I mean, it used to be hard because like singing is my very first passion, but I think that I kind of also feel that like writing is almost like a service, like to the world, like if someone wants it, so especially if I help an artist write it like in the room, then like to me, that's like 100% theirs. If it's something I did first, then no, I mean, usually if they sound great, then I'm just happy that it's going to get out in the world. Because, as songwriters, we write so many songs and you love most of them and not all of them make it out there. And so if someone can kind of bring it to life and they relate to it, then usually that's a good sign too, because that's what it's all about, is having stuff that, a lot of people can relate to and they can bring themselves to. So it's a beautiful thing, really, I think.
Well, Speaking of lyrics that you can relate to, I mean, Free is just such an amazing song lyrically. Finally, in Finky's verse, what's the first thing that you do to get the monsters out of your head?
Oh, God. Well, recently I've been trying to do something in between, like meditation and sort of, some kind of prayer without like kind of any religious element, and just kind of thanking, the universe for what I have, and, trying to accept the challenges I have, and kind of even thank the universe for the challenges, and maybe consider that those could be the exact things that I need to learn to bring me to the next moment, though. So I think gratitude, taking time, making calls to friends, and just being humble, letting go of my preconceived notions of what my life should be. Those are all things that I try to do consciously every day.
I love that. Isn't it crazy how quickly our minds turn on us? I mean, it is just insane.
It really is. It is. Yeah. And I think I'm someone that has a lot of faith and also a lot of fear. And I think that's kind of what worked in this song, because I think I was experiencing like both things, even in the recording of it. And, such a positive team of people working on the song that I kind of was able to push through even some feelings of like not being enough like that day, and I think that's kind of what makes the song work as well, because it's real, and you can push through those feelings. I think that's the point, they're real feelings, but also you can really let go of them.
Oh, absolutely. I have to constantly repeat to myself, that is not a rational thought. to kind of retrain your brain because those thoughts come into your head so quickly that you just have to keep repeating to yourself to retrain your brain. That's not a rational thought.
Yeah, and I think you can retrain your brain to, see things half full as well, even if that's not how you started, and I think it can be easier and easier to see the positive or see the possibility, I always like to say, like, miracles can't exist, like, if you kind of are always trying to control everything. Like, it's only when you let go, when you're in the unknown, when you're kind of in a place, it's a miracle by definition isn't expected, so you have to be in a place that nothing's necessarily going the way you thought it would go for something amazing to happen.
Oh,
I think that's true
that.
even with this song. Like, I mean, things had happened. I made some mistakes, had to put some things on credit cards even to be on that trip, and everything's kind of sorted itself out. But like, thank God I did, because the song's working out, sometimes you just have to trust your gut, even if it isn't rational, sometimes positivity isn't rational, I think. And, but that's also the beauty of it.
Man, I love your way of thinking. That is so awesome. Let's talk about this smash, because not only was it written incredibly, but you sound amazing on it.
Oh, thank you.
I know that Sophie Simmons had something to do with it as well.
Yeah.
How was this song born on your end?
Well, yeah, the TELYKast guys, like, they definitely had like a strong vision for the sound that they were, exploring and playing with. And I think they said that they wanted it to be something about free, which obviously it is. And and then I guess we kind of just very organically started finding melodies and words. And Sophie is such a talent. And what I really appreciate about her is that she really works to, I think, highlight the best of who she's working with. And, it's not just like, let's write a great song. It's like, let's write a great song that can highlight your vocal and your, what you bring to the table. And I think that's such a huge talent, and makes you really shine. You need a team of people to help you shine, I think. And she really did that. And they all did.
Yeah, you guys all did an incredible job. I think, if I remember correctly, they told me that when you guys finished it, they actually decided to push that out first on their EP because it was exactly what they were looking for with the EP.
Yeah, that happened pretty fast. And yeah, again, unexpected. But yeah, we only did that in January, which, sounds like a while ago, but is faster than a lot of things.
Now, something I love to find out about songs is how many different V's there are from when the artist starts working on it, all the tweaking that goes on to when it finally gets put out. When it comes to your songs, are there a lot of revisions that go into it when you're writing them?
I guess it depends. Like, I that's one thing that's beautiful to me about songs writing is that every situation is different. Sometimes it just comes out, and sometimes it needs a lot of tweaking. I mean, sometimes it's a bad sign if something needs a lot of tweaking. But no, I mean, I tend to overthink, even with this one, I was like, oh, like, do we need it so tuned or like whatever, like, because sometimes I'm a purist of like vocals and all this stuff, but we find a happy medium, and I think that's an important part of working collectively is like trusting the collective opinion. It's like, you can have your opinion, but also like, let's trust like the group.
Well, I think I speak for everybody when I say how amazing you sounded on this song.
Aw, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Congratulations on it going number one. Congratulations on your first number one.
Yay!
So what is next for X.O.ANNE?
Well, I'm just in the process of moving back from like literally this week from London. Because I've been living there for like 3 years, and and yeah, I'm in Nashville. I'm gonna see my mom a little bit, and then I'm gonna be in LA. And I have some good collabs coming up, and yeah, just gonna be doing a lot more writing in LA and back in my own country, which I'm very excited about, and doing some good stuff already here in Nashville. So yeah, lots of music.
That's so awesome. Everybody can follow X.O.ANNE on Instagram or X_O_Anne on X or Twitter. X.O.ANNE, whatever you want me calling you. It is so incredible finally meeting you. Thank you so much for your time with us on America's Dance 30.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and having me. It's nice to meet you.